Episode 3 of A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms is here, and it's the best episode of the season without a doubt. The ending didn't just wrap things up, it completely transformed the show's tone, bringing back that dark, twisted Targaryen madness we've been waiting for. The reveal of Egg's true identity during the puppet show wasn't just a shock, it was the culmination of clues hidden throughout the entire episode. And let's not forget the fortune teller's haunting predictions for Dunk and Egg, or the fact that Dunk's fate now rests on the trial of 7. Let's break down this week's episode, explore what made it so gripping, and share why it left such a powerful impression. Spoiler warning, if you haven't watched episode 3 yet, now's your chance to turn back. Egg's true identity. This episode felt like it was all about diving deeper into Egg's mind, showing us not only how he connects with Dunk but also how different he is from his brother, Aerion Targaryen. From the very first episode, we knew Egg was running from something, but when he met Dunk, he found someone who treated him with kindness, someone who made him believe he could be more than just a runaway. He saw a future as Dunk's squire, and that hope carried him through. There was something so telling about how this episode focused on eyes. Aerion's were cold, almost empty, like he was looking through people rather than at them. Egg, though, he saw what was right in front of him. That moment in the opening scene where Egg watches Dunk sleep, eager to start the day and prepare thunder, it wasn't just about duty, it was about care. And that care extended to Thunder, the horse Aerion callously killed during the joust. Aerion saw the horse as a tool, something to be discarded, but Egg, he respected it, just like Dunk. Remember, in the previous episode, when Aerion's horse was spooked and Dunk was the one who calmed it, Egg mentioned how he'd always been told horses were dumb, that they only understood force. But he didn't believe that. He thought horses, like people, deserved respect. And that's exactly what Dunk gave them. It's another way Egg and Dunk are alike, and another way Aerion stands apart. Then there was that quiet moment when Egg and Dunk sat overlooking Ashford. Egg talked about wanting a simple life, land, animals, peace. It was a glimpse into his soul, a hint at the weight he's been carrying. And then in the episode's climax, everything clicked. When Dunk stood up to Aerion to protect Tanselle, Egg couldn't let him get hurt, so he revealed the truth. He wasn't just some orphan boy, he was Aerion's brother. The blonde hair was gone because he didn't want to be like his family. He cut it off to distance himself from them, from the cruelty he knew all too well. That's why he panicked at the sight of the Targaryen banner in episode 2. That's why he whispered "kill him" during Aerion's joust, because he knew his brother was capable of anything. And when Aerion killed Dunk's horse, Egg didn't just suspect foul play. He knew, because he'd grown up with Aerion's cruelty. Dunk, though, had no idea, and now I can't help but wonder, will Dunk feel betrayed? Egg lied about everything: his name, his past, even his father. Dunk thought he was protecting a squire, not a prince. Sir Duncan, the Tall's nobility. One thing that really stood out in this episode was Dunk's nobility. He truly embodies what it means to be a knight, protecting the weak, standing for what's right, and earning his victories. Even though Dunk can be firm with Egg, we've seen a softer side to him, almost like a brotherly protection. We saw it when Dunk taught Egg how to brush Thunder and when he made him breakfast. It's a stark contrast to the lack of care Egg receives from his biological brother, Aerion. Dunk's nobility shone in two key moments. First, when the Master of Games tried to rig the tournament, asking Dunk to throw the match against Lord Ashford's son. Dunk refused. He didn't want a hollow victory, he wanted to earn it. And when the Master of Games said, "Have you not earned it?" it was a reminder of how hard Dunk has worked his whole life. But for Dunk, honor matters more than an easy win. Then there was the ending. When Aerion snapped Tancelle's finger over her puppet show, because no one insults House Targaryen and gets away with it, Dunk didn't hesitate. He stood up to Aerion even when it meant risking his life. That moment when Aerion asked, "Why did you throw your life away for this woman?" It wasn't just about Tancelle. It was about what Dunk stands for. Being a knight isn't about the sword or the shield, it's about doing what's right no matter the cost. The fortune teller's predictions now, if you haven't read the books, you might want to skip ahead because this part contains spoilers. The fortune teller's words were brief, but they carried the weight of fate. For Egg, she said, "You shall be king, die in a hot fire, and worms shall feast upon your ashes, and all who know you shall rejoice in your dying." We now know Egg becomes King Aegon V. But that prophecy, it's brutal. He does become king, but only after his brothers and their heirs are gone. And his death, it's tragic. he dies in the fire at Summerhall trying to bring dragons back into the world. The small folk mourn him because he fought for them, but the lords, they rejoice, because Egg's reign challenged their power and they never forgave him for it. For Dunk, the fortune was simpler. You shall know great success and be richer than a Lannister. And it's true, Dunk becomes Lord Commander of the Kingsguard, a role that brings him not just wealth but a legacy. He's remembered as one of the greatest knights in history, not for the coins in his pocket, but for the honor in his heart. My review of the episode: this was the best episode of the season. The tonal shift at the end wasn't just a twist, it was a turning point. The lighter, almost fairy tale-like vibe of the first 2 episodes is fading, and in its place we're getting the darkness and epic stakes we crave. Aerian's cold stare, his chilling the dragon never loses, it was like coming home. What's impressive is how much weight this show packs into just 25 minutes. The story isn't overly complex, but it feels meaningful. It's a tale of good versus evil, of right versus wrong, and it's woven into every character. That final scene where Dunk stands up to Aerian, it was everything. We've been waiting to see Dunk throw hands, and when it took multiple nights to hold him back, it was a reminder of just how powerful he is, both physically and morally. The reveal of Egg's identity was handled perfectly. Those subtle hints, his reaction to the Targaryen banner, his quiet rage when Aerian cheated, made the reveal all the more satisfying. And when Egg started calling the knights by their names, commanding them to stop, his confidence suddenly made sense. What a Knight of the Seven Kingdoms does better than House of the Dragon or even Game of Thrones is its humanity. Dunk and Egg's relationship is infectious. You root for them, you see yourself in their struggles. They stand for what's right, and in a world as gray as Westeros, that's refreshing. With Dunk now facing the trial of 7, we're about to see what it truly means to be a knight. And honestly, I can't wait. So there you have it, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms Episode 3, Ending Explained. For more breakdowns, reviews, and theories, follow and subscribe to our channel, Movies and Series Reset. What did you think of this episode? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.